The entire Formula One paddock didn't just notice Aston Martin's new car, it paused. Because when Adrian Newey's first real Aston Martin design influence started to surface around the AMR26 project, the reaction wasn't hype, it was discomfort. And discomfort in Formula One usually means one thing: somebody just moved the goalposts. This isn't just another car launch story. This matters now because Formula One is entering one of the biggest regulation resets in modern history, and the teams that interpret change fastest don't just win races, they rewrite eras. The curiosity isn't, is the AMR26 fast? The real question is this: what if the car isn't designed to be fast immediately, but unstoppable once it understands itself? And here's the detail most fans missed. Adrian Newey doesn't build cars for year one dominance. He builds foundations that compound advantage over time. That's insane. Let that sink in. Because Adrian Newey isn't just another engineer moving teams. He's the architect behind multiple championship dynasties. Williams in the 90s, McLaren in the late 90s, Red Bull in the 2000s, and again in the ground effect era. When someone with that track record even breathes near a new design philosophy, rival teams don't laugh. They look at their simulation data twice. And the strongest early claim isn't lap time, it's intent. Aston Martin didn't recruit Newey to fix a midfield problem. They recruited him to build a future. That's a completely different mindset. And if you're already thinking it's just one person, here's what nobody is talking about. Newey changes how entire departments think. Aerodynamics, suspension philosophy, packaging decisions, risk tolerance, all of it shifts when a team believes they finally have the blueprint guy. Smart fans subscribe, not because they're told to, because they don't like watching history from the sidelines. Now here's where the tension starts to rise. Aston Martin hasn't been known as the technical leader of the hybrid era. They've had flashes, podiums, moments of brilliance, but not sustained architectural dominance. So why is the AMR26 being whispered about in technical circles already? Because the project isn't just about surface aerodynamics, it's about integration. And integration is where Newey has historically destroyed competition. Think about this. Most teams optimize individual components: wings, floors, suspension geometry. Newey optimizes airflow paths. He treats the entire car like a moving ecosystem rather than a collection of parts. That's the difference between building speed and building efficiency. One wins qualifying, the other wins championships. Read that again. But here's the uncomfortable contradiction. Aston Martin still has infrastructure catching up to its ambition. Their new wind tunnel only recently became fully operational. Their simulator programs are still scaling. So how can a team that isn't yet the most technologically mature suddenly scare the grid? Because Formula One isn't just hardware, it's decision logic. And decision logic is where one mind can shift probability. Be honest, if one engineer consistently outthinks entire teams for decades, is that coincidence or methodology? Midway through this story, this is the part where casual viewers drop off. And the funny thing is, the people still watching right now, they're the ones who end up understanding F1 before the commentators do. That's the quiet advantage. Now let's escalate the pressure. The 2026 regulations are not minor tweaks. They represent a philosophical change in power unit balance, electrical deployment, chassis packaging, and aerodynamic freedoms. That means every team is effectively guessing the first season. And when everyone guesses, the team with the best pattern recognition wins. Newey's reputation isn't just about innovation, it's about recognizing where regulations accidentally create loopholes. And here's the fear factor for rival teams. If the AMR26 isn't immediately dominant, that doesn't mean it failed. It might mean it's learning. Historically, Newey cars often start strong, but their real strength appears once mid-season upgrades begin. That's where the compounding effect happens. That's where rivals realize they aren't chasing a car. They're chasing a philosophy. Was that genius or long-term patience? That's the debate. Now imagine the internal politics this creates. Drivers want immediate pace. Sponsors want visible results. Executives want proof. But engineers who understand Newey's track record know that rushing his philosophy kills its advantage. This creates tension inside the team itself. And tension inside a team can either fracture it or sharpen it. Here's another pattern interrupt. What if Aston Martin's biggest weapon isn't speed, but timing? Because timing in Formula One is everything. Launch a breakthrough too early, rivals copy it. Launch too late, the season is gone. Newey's career shows a strange consistency. His cars don't just appear fast, they appear fast when copying them is too late. That's terrifying for the grid. Now we move toward the payoff, and this is where the story flips. The AMR26 isn't about one season, it's about identity. Aston Martin isn't trying to become better, they're trying to become inevitable. And inevitability in Formula One isn't built with flashy concepts, it's built with repeatable logic. Let that sink in. The consequences of this shift go beyond one car. If Aston Martin successfully transitions from a reactive team to a predictive one, it changes driver negotiations, sponsorship power, and even how other teams structure their engineering departments. Because once a team proves it can think 2 seasons ahead, everyone else is forced to stop thinking 1 race ahead. Who's the real winner behind the scenes? The driver, the team, or the mind shaping the blueprint? Now the emotional trigger, urgency. Because the first visible success of the AMR26 doesn't need to be a win. It only needs to be consistency. Consistency forces rivals into panic development. Panic development burns budget. Burned budgets create mistakes. And mistakes in a regulation reset era can cost entire championship cycles. That's insane. And here's the reframing that matters most. Adrian Newey joining Aston Martin doesn't guarantee domination. What it guarantees is discomfort. And in Formula One, discomfort spreads faster than lap times. Teams start questioning their simulations. Engineers start questioning their assumptions. Drivers start questioning their contracts. This isn't just a car story, it's a psychological shift. So now the final question. Is the AMR26 the start of a new dynasty, or the most expensive experiment in modern F1 history? Because both outcomes are possible. But the one thing that isn't possible anymore is ignoring Aston Martin. And if you want the next piece of this puzzle, the video where we break down how the 2026 power unit split could secretly favour certain driving styles, it's already on the channel. And once you connect those dots, the entire grid looks different.